There is no reason to weave now. The strategies of all those days in wait for you have lost their use. I could not fix your weft and warp of mind, could not call you back from burning Troy each night, from monsters, maelstroms, and beguilements of your will, your mind, your heart, your very flesh. The murders that announced your restoration should have been a clue that much of what you were had not returned, that you had grown brutal where you once had been as subtle as the air above the sea. I never thought you'd grow to fear me, would see in me reminders of captivity, of biting rope and being undermined, of being put to someone else's use, as toys and tools and weapons are. Could not foresee the final madness, which would take you far from me. Your last bold going, taking leave of the impossible, tranquility, in a fantasy of fresh utility, a final voyage to the all-destroying sea. I own a car park, one that fits into my hand, a reproduction in the concrete the original was made of, in a time when safety nets gave workers space to fly. Torn down to build a Tesco, she was one of only two, the Trinity, the Tricorn. They tore down her sister too. They were not pretty, witty, or postmodern. They were concrete, and they let you know it. No quirky branded nicknames. They were structures, built by people who took pride in knowing structure more than spin. They did not disguise their concrete skin with brick and call themselves the new vernacular. They refused to look safe and familiar. They were something else, invited dreams with spikes and angles. They were not, thank God, required to be in keeping. They were built for a democracy which wasn't happy sleeping. The novelty of Breugel used to be frost fairs, rivers iced so thick that commerce could be carried out with no fear of fall through the surface. How fantastic a concept, in an age when glaciers melt and polar bears stray into towns to scavenge food from bins. Now, of course, we marvel not just at the ice, but at the spectacle of people massed in crowds. I need a haircut. So do I. And an espresso, a deep tissue massage, a trip to a physical bookshop, a McMuffin, to hear that guy who plays a funky bass by Gray's Monument busking, a can of ice-cold Red Stripe at an indie wrestling show, cinema popcorn, someone to roll with, a chance encounter with a friend, a look around a gallery, a kiss. I am desperate to experience all of this, and I accept that right now I can't have it. Pull your unshorn head out of your backside and accept that you and others share a planet. Will you still invoke the war, now the number of dead has exceeded the Blitz? Will you accept that this virus doesn't abide by our national myths? Will you accept martial metaphors mean less from you, since you were born in 1956? I wish I could believe you would, but past form says you'll keep being twits, mixing vainglory and victimhood in the loutish chorale of us Brits. I was destroyed by the world long before it was destroyed. Already isolating when the days of isolation came. Keeping my distance well before that distance had been set. I should be swimming and not drowning in this sea. I read a tweet in which a woman says she relishes her nighttime walks because the virus has made her vector, not object, of danger. I smash the like, not knowing how to say that I get what she is saying, but in days before contagion I would still see her as threat. I keep my walking to the daytime, because something tries to force me out the door in hours of darkness, taunts me to get out of bed, then get out of the building, get to the corner, then the junction, then the bridge. Something that tells me that my mother knows my password, and my best friend knows my PIN, and that, between them, they would find a way to save the words I leave behind. I have been doing this for quite some time. It should be second nature, swimming in this sea.